Hillary says Bernie's not qualified to be president.
Do you think he is qualified?
Well, let me put it this way, Joe. I think that what he has been saying about the core issue in his whole campaign doesn't seem to be rooted in an understanding of either the law or the practical ways you get something done.
And Bernie says, same to you, but more of it.
She has been saying lately that she thinks that I am, quote unquote, not qualified to be president. I don't think that you are qualified if you get $15 million from Wall Street through your super PAC. I don't think you are qualified if you have supported virtually every disastrous trade agreement which has cost us millions of decent-paying jobs.
Okay, so we have two leftists arguing who's more qualified to run the greatest country ever. Two progressives debating which one should run a capitalist system. It's like watching two slow lorises debate who should fly a jumbo jet. Or watching a can of beans argue the meaning of life with a box of mud. It's like me and Dana arguing who's better at dunking a basketball. You want to talk qualifications? These two aren't even qualified to actually have the actual debate about qualifications, and they're not even qualified to ask you why. Yet these are the choices. And how did we get here and why? America is a country whose system helped dramatically reduce world poverty and disease, increase lifespans, free millions from tyranny. As a method to spread wealth, health, and good cheer, it's the best damn thing ever. But there are millions of Americans now who think it's time to replace this evil system with notions that have failed all over the world. The worst part, it's not the candidates, but the millions of earnest supporters born and raised on myths and misconceptions about America. When you look at Bernie and Bernie Light and see what they're saying, you hear the dank rot of the campus lounge, now accepted as truth. How weird to rule the free world and citizens race to embrace the doctrine of the vanquished.
That's true.
It is true, Dana. Thank you very much. All right, coming up, Kimberly. Yeah. It really is a funny debate to see two left-wingers trying to talk about who's better at running a capitalistic system. Don't you agree with me?
I agree. Top ramen or a cup of noodles. It's pretty much the same thing. Both tasty, however. This is his last chance to, like, hit her hard. Do you have a comment about that?
Oh, yeah, a cup of noodles is far easier than top ramen.
I never made top ramen.
And heat it up.
Cup of noodles, you pour in the water.
And you just wait.
But I hated the vegetables in the cup of noodles because they're hard. Yeah, they're hard. They were always hard, though.
No, you've got to let it soak for a while before you put it in your mouth. Figure it out, amateurs. Okay, here's the deal. So this is his chance to hit her hard, right, and act like he actually wants the nomination to prove, in fact, that it is not inevitable. And he better do it in the debate, like we were talking about when I called for him to, like, take her out, leg sweep her, chop her up, go art of war. You know, kind things like that. Act like you want it. He actually has a chance if he keeps it going. The problem is if it wasn't for the super fix with the super delegates.
Yeah. Eric, what do you think? Is there any winner or loser in this?
This is we are.
Yeah.
Finally, they're doing what's going on the right.
Yeah, it's true.
She said it first, and he said she's not qualified, and then she said, well, I didn't really say that, and then Bernie says, well, I read it in the Washington Post headline, so it must be true.
Right.
And then she walked it back with Matt Lauer saying, I don't know if he's qualified or not. I know he's more qualified than any of the Republicans. Can we just embrace this moment? Let them do this for a while.
Finally.
But it is
we're going to carry this over to
wildly more interesting.
Yes, let's do it.
Wildly.
Let's do an hour on this, Dana. It's nice to focus on this. I mean, they've been getting a free ride.
But I'm going to disagree with you on something.
Oh.
Well, because on the point of capitalism, maybe you have a point. But on the question of who's qualified to run the country between Hillary and Bernie Sanders, if those are your two choices, let's say that there's not any other choice. There's no question that she is heads and tails. Like, she is so far above him in qualifications.
Heads and tails.
I'm having a hard day. But she's much more
qualified
for national
tail?
security. No, I'm not. I'm implying that Bill might. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Can I make my point that she's more qualified than Bernie on national security? And if your worry as a mom out there in voting land, if your biggest worry is national security and the protection of your family, and those are your choices, you are absolutely going to go for Hillary. On the Bernie side, significant escalation. He decides to say she's not qualified. He obviously has a new speechwriter, or he didn't edit out all the work that they had put into it. And he says that she's not qualified, and he hits her where he thinks it hurts the most, on special interest money and on trade deals. When actually the thing that would probably help him the most is, once again, proven in Wisconsin by Democrats, is that she's most vulnerable on trustworthiness and honesty, and he will never go there, which to me, as always said, he doesn't really want to win.
By the way, you mentioned
and that's her Achilles heel.
Yeah. You said voting land. I imagine that would be an amusement park you'd go to as a kid. Let's go to voting land. All right, Juan.
Okay.
Dana makes a good point that, you know, with the national security, maybe Hillary's probably more experienced. But even then, she made us vulnerable with the emails.
Let me just say, first of all, there's just no question she's better qualified. Just look at her experience and look at his experience, and you think, well, there's just no comparison. But the second thing to say is that every political strategist around is making the point that you guys are making at the table today, which is, gee, go after her trustworthiness. Go after the idea that I think it's like almost 70% of Americans have questions about whether or not she's a truth teller. Now, I must say, people also think she's tough and therefore she's better to handle terrorism and all that, but there is a weakness there. The question is, how does Bernie go at this? Because the Democratic base is not that interested in the email story.
Yeah.
But guess what? He's got to take advantage somehow of the idea that Democrats as well as Republicans question whether or not you can trust Hillary Clinton.
Can I push back a little bit on whether she's qualified or not? I know she has the experience.
Right.
I don't necessarily think because she has so much experience makes her more qualified. Look what she's done. Yep. I mean, she screwed up the Iran deal. She screwed up Libya.
Syria.
Benghazi people are dead. I mean, so she was there with differences. Press the reset button. There's an abundance of experience there, but taken on the surface in figure out what happened after her, what she left in her wake, bad things have happened. I don't call that qualified.
And Clinton Foundation influence peddling, which you have hit her on.
I have real problems with that. But what I'm saying to you, Eric, is you can nitpick and say, hey, you know what? I didn't like that, and she screwed that up, and blah. But here's what it comes down to. The tough guy is in the arena, in the fight. And people have seen Hillary Clinton in the fight for years. They value the idea that Hillary Clinton oftentimes comes out on top, and they like it. That's why they feel more secure with her.
The tough guy has a lot of matches. He's a boxer. She's a boxer, and she's like 1 in 47. She's got a lot of experience, but she's not qualified to get in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Let me say, are you kidding? She's won 2 Senate races in this state, in New York State.
As a Democrat, that's not that hard.
As a Democrat, she had to run. She had to defeat a Republican.
And we're talking about foreign policy.
She also had to beat Democrats to get the opportunity.
This was on the heels of Bernie having a very bad sit-down with the Daily News editorial board.
Terrible. Well,
on foreign policy.
Wait, but you're making the case then. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. That's what she was trying to say.
They're both poor choices.
We're saying they're both bad choices. You don't even have to pick either. You can go like this. Pass.
It's like Top Ramen or Cup of Noodles.
Yeah, that
let me just say,
so hungry.
Vegetables too, doesn't it?
No, Top Ramen. It comes in that little brick.
It's like a little brick, a little squiggly.
But the packet that you put in
doesn't have. You know, the great thing is you take 2 packets.
Oh, too salty.
I love it.
I feel like Kimberly's food court coming on for Friday.
Let me go back to the tangle of spaghetti for a moment. Let's throw this on the wall. You know what? There was a poll today, and this poll is from Pew, and it says 70% of Americans can't stand Donald Trump. 50% of Republicans can't stand Donald Trump.
Wasn't this Hillary Clinton?
No, because I'm coming to something about Hillary here. That when it comes, well, Cruz is at 59% negative, but when you get to Hillary Clinton, it's 55%.
Yeah.
So if you talk about ramen, we're talking about, baby, I don't want to eat that junk tonight. I'm going out.
It's like ramen with kale.
Wait, I'm going back to the noodles because I had kale today.
All right.
No more healthy eating.
Ahead. You know, that was fun. Diet stuff embedded in there. Learn something.